tap your card for that coffee. It's only $7. Welcome to Simplified Sparky Marketing. On that note, I was out in Paddy's Day, being a stereotypical Paddy, having a few beers. And I was in the city and I got 2 pints of Guinness, pretty rough Guinness. And the guy, when I went to tap my card, said, that's just $34. I was like, fucking just. It's like me going, yeah, it's going to be $2,000 to replace that PowerPoint, please. It's just $2,000. Into the podcast. What we're going to speak about is frictionless payments today, and it's just make it easier for you to get paid. Now, I keep forgetting that not everybody sees my Instagram, not everybody listens to the podcast, not everybody gets my emails, hint, link in the description. So what I'm going to touch on is ServiceM8 has the ability, so I don't know what job management software you use. I use ServiceM8 because it's the king. I don't care what you say. It's what I use for service and it works. It is just phenomenal for everything that I need to do. It does it, and you don't need to overcomplicate things. It has all the features that you need. So within ServiceM8, with what they now call ServiceM8 Pay, because they're big dogs, they've linked with Apple, they've got their own payment system rigged up inside there. So for years and years, it was always a debate on contractor forums and stuff of, can we pass the card fee? Can we pass the card fee? And now you can pass the card fee to the client. So you can set this up in the back end that you can set a limit. You can set it to whatever you want. You can set it on constantly that any single payment that you take, they take the fee. So I think it's 2%, or if they're using Amex, it's going to be more expensive. But if they are just using a regular card, I think it's 2%. It's even less. It's actually 1.49% from memory. I just thought of that now. So it's pretty low. So I've got it set up for my electrical business that I take a hit up to $2,000. So that's $15 per 1,000, you could say. But if it's anything above that, they pay it they basically pay the fee. So you can set it to whatever you want, and that way it automatically calculates, it passes the card fee to them. And if you're skeptical of, people don't want to pay the card fee or whatever, you'd be surprised how many people pay me knowing that they're paying the fee. And it's blatantly obvious that they are going to cop the fee. So I give them 3 options. I give them bank transfer, old school. I got card payments under $2,000, has no fee on it. And then they have got PayID, which that's another thing I speak about a lot, is PayID to get paid frictionless. So PayID will instantly enter your bank account. So I had a PayID set up for my personal number, my personal phone number. And it was a bit of a doozy setting up the new PayID. But what it actually linked to was the ABN. So the reference for your PayID is actually your ABN. So when they pay that, they can just get your ABN. It'll pop up your company name. They tick that, give the job number for reference if needed. But it just makes it far easier to get paid if they've got a few options, because somebody may want to pay with card. Somebody may not have the money to pay with cash. They may want to put that on credit because they may be living week to week. Who knows how people live? They might be borrowed up to their balls with the mortgage repayments and all that. So people do prefer card payment at times. And if you can get paid on the spot with PayID or card payment, you're winning. To me, if I can get a $2,000 payment and cop the fee of $30, I'm happy to do that because it saves admin and it saves chasing. What triggered this with me this week was when I went back to Ireland around October. I went to the local town and I went to get a coffee, and there was a new coffee shop after opening. I was excited. The guy used to have a truck, like a little trailer, and it was mobile, and now he finally got a shop and he moved into it. So I was like, sweet, the coffee was good last year when I was back, so I'll hit this up. So I went in there, ordered a flat white, was chatting to the lady inside there. It's a couple that have the coffee shop. I'm having a great old chat, and then she said it's going to be whatever in euros. And I said, sweet, pulled out my phone to tap it, and then she said, as he was making it, she's like, it's cash only. And I was like, that's a bit of a problem. And then she was like, oh no, don't worry about it, you can come back in tomorrow. But I'm like, that is a horrible business model, because yes, it's small town and a lot of people know people, and you will, like 99% of people will come back and pay it. But for all she knew, I could be going back to Australia the next day, and she was going to just run the gauntlet that I was going to come back in and actually pay for it the next day, which I did. But while I was in there, it happened once or twice as well. And I went back again with cash, and it happened again. There's people in the queue. And I was like, for the sake of it might be a fee of 10 cents a coffee or something like that. They could have passed the fee onto the client. I would happily, if they said it was 10 cents, 20 cents more, I would have tapped and I wouldn't have even noticed that. Whereas I think they were thinking, oh, let's not use card payments because of the fees and no one will come in here. It's inconvenience and people have to then go to an ATM to get cash out. And by the time they do that, there's a coffee shop across the road, probably about, 30 meters away. So what's going to happen to that coffee shop is people are going to leave and move to the coffee shop that's got convenience and they've got card payment. And yes, you may pay a little bit more, but it's time is money. People value tapping their phone rather than walking to an ATM, getting cash out, and then being like, I don't even use cash anymore because I personally do not use cash anymore. Like I don't carry my wallet unless it's necessary to bring it somewhere. That's what I'm getting at, is to make it easy for your clients to pay you, because when they've got options that they can pay you, it just makes it a lot easier than sending them just like a bank account with an account number and a BSB, because they have to open up their app, then they've got to close that, go back into your invoice, cut that number, or else try and remember it, and then go back to that again, then enter it again, and then swipe in, swipe out. And it's just a real friction point where if they can just click a button, like in ServiceMate, they can just tap their phone with Apple. You don't even need an FPOS machine. If you rock an Apple phone, they can tap their phone. I think it's over a certain, maybe iPhone 13 or something like that, you can have the ability to do that. But it just makes it far easier for them to pay. And that's what you want. Is the most important thing in your business is getting cash into it, that you can then put that money elsewhere, pay your bills, pay your wages, etc. So get on it. If you're not already dabbling with ServiceMate Pay, I'd highly advise you to get it set up. And if you don't have ServiceMate yet, I'll put a link underneath to that. And I'll put a few links. I'll put a link to how to set this up as well in the show notes. A link to my emails, which you're missing out on if you're not getting. And yeah, Instagram handle as well is all there. So hope you take value from this and you get paid quicker than you usually do.